right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. And look who's here. Our lovely, the healing medium, Kevin Lewis. And I am so honored. I am so privileged, really, Kevin.
Oh,
You have
goodness.
become almost a sensation, on YouTube, I would say. A little bit
Oh,
of you,
bless you.
you're very popular. And so just to
Uh,
even get in this hour, I'm so happy to get this time with you. And because I really would love to know who you are and what you think.
mm,
Who you are and what do you think? So,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for having me. I know we had a great time when you were on my channel, and I inundated you with lots of the questions. And now
My
it's
turn?
so funny. It's like I'm usually the one asking the questions, but you're so kind. Thank you for that nice intro. And it's a pleasure. We've been, I think we're going to end up doing this more often.
I
Um,
hope so.
yeah, I
I
think it's
hope so too.
wonderful. I love your energy, and you're so gracious in your contribution, to this community. We were just talking about that, and it's just so lovely. I don't not acknowledge each and every person that comes and joins and is in the conversation. And I did a live last night, and I have to tell you, I was really distracted by the conversations and the support that was happening in the chat.
Yeah,
And to me, that was like, it's just so beautiful. And so,
I
um,
know.
yeah, it's
I know.
wonderful. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for
I
having
know.
me, Kim.
Well,
Hmm.
thank you. That's great, really. I just feel like, oh, the holiday spirit. I don't even know if you celebrate Christmas, but I just feel
I
this is fun.
do.
Because when we were together, it was Thanksgiving Day when I was on
All
your,
right.
remember? And it's here, it's almost Christmas. And I
Keeping
went,
with the theme.
yeah. And you probably be doing a live on Christmas Day, or I suppose, aren't you? You know, who knows, right?
No, I
Okay.
don't know. I mean,
Okay.
maybe, but probably not. I'll
Okay.
probably take that day off.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say hi to Linda and Kay and Michelle and Teresa and Dream Journey. There's AD. Hello.
Ah,
Hello. Flying Without a Broom and Junosphere and Ron. Uh, can't go anywhere without Ron, right? Samantha and Jen and
mhm.
oh my gosh, here we go. Lillian and Marge and Teresa. Oh,
Ah,
I mean, more than I can probably get to right here.
mhm.
Lauren and anyway, K Travel and there's so PAJ. I probably can hardly read that because I don't have my glasses on. Lizzie, Wiki. Okay, so I know I'm missing some of you guys. Oops. Oops. That's
Sweet and salty. Merry Christmas to you too.
okay. And there's I'm gonna change something here. There's now you know what? Here's my can how I don't know how to get a message off.
Oh, if you hide it, so you go back to the comments,
Oh,
and then you just hit, yeah.
oh my
I
God.
know.
Thank
Trust
you.
me, I've done.
It's right in front of me. So anyway, I have some questions, and you can always say decline, Kevin, because I really.
Okay. I'm
Pass.
pretty open. I'm pretty open, I
Okay.
will say.
You can
Yeah.
if you don't want to answer, you can just say okay. But because I would love to get to know a little bit about maybe even well your journey, right? Your journey
Mm,
as a medium, because you call yourself the healing medium.
yeah.
And I guess we can start with why do you call yourself the healing medium?
I
Would you
love
mind?
it. I wouldn't mind. It was interesting. I kind of fought that word. The word healing to me was the challenge. And so putting that into my name or attaching it to my name actually took quite something. And so, I mean, the short version is I was sitting in the power, and I was thinking about my website. I was thinking about the YouTube channel, just these different aspects of branding, if you will. And Spirit said the healing medium, and I heard it really clear, and I sat with it, and it felt different in that moment than it ever had, because I had done some different healing modalities. I practice Reiki, I'm a Reiki master teacher. And then in the UK, I did quite a lot of study around spiritual healing. And even though I had these I don't know, I guess these ideas of what a healer was and healing is, I still kind of fought it. I was like, I didn't feel like I was the one doing it. And I'm not even saying that I got to that place that I feel like I am. I feel like a small part of it. So really, I guess a conduit in that connection with energy being universal or spiritual or both. And knowing that in the coming together with clients and people and friends and family and even with self, that healing would occur. And
Yeah.
so I just got that information in that one morning where I didn't, I hadn't given it a whole lot of thought of what to call my name, or my YouTube channel or attached to my website. And that's what came through, and it fit, and I'm comfortable with it now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, and when you were saying it, I was getting the chills as you were talking about your guides coming in to say that. Now, how many years ago was that?
Oh, that's funny because my website was something, I would say that was you know how time, oh my gosh, I'm horrible with time. I would say about 4 or 5 years ago. And so in it, I played it safe for about another 2 years before I actually launched my website. And then in that, I relaunched it 2 times. So I had attached the healing medium to it. And then YouTube, I just started YouTube, my channel specifically at the end of May of this year. And
Yeah.
so I just added it to that. So
Nice. That's
yeah.
beautiful. And I know. I mean, I think what it is that you're such a likable person,
Aw,
and authentic, and likable, and talented
thank
and
you.
gifted, right? Yeah. So I think that, yeah, amazing. So, and I'm wondering, when you were young, I mean, when did you start this whole mediumship journey? Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I don't remember a time that I didn't feel connected to spirit or something greater than me, or things that I just didn't know how to explain. And sometimes that was just internally about like ideas or thoughts. I was I always asked why. And I got reprimanded for it quite a lot, just from people that didn't have the answer, or whatever. But I just had this like pull, this kind of knowing, and moments of my childhood were different. I mean, I was always different. I, was aware of how people felt in my own household. I was aware of, if I was in my friend circle in school growing up, I was always aware of things that, in truth, I actually knew that not everybody was maybe in that awareness. And so I never didn't feel like, because I attach it to the mediumship, and in it, I feel like that development or that unveiling, if you will, has been happening my whole entire life. So there's those standout things that even as a child have contributed to my ability, if you will.
Nice. And now I know you're in Canada, so do you feel, in America, it's off and on. Some people are very, supportive, and then you go to other groups of people that aren't so much. And you just like reincarnation here is not generally as accepted. Well, maybe it is nowadays, but in other countries it's more normal. So
Right.
I'm wondering how it is in Canada here, like for metaphysics is what I mean.
Yeah, that's the thing. The people that I surround myself with, they're, the most of them are open to it. And so I think you always have people that are just not open to it, and that's okay. I think one of the things that I acknowledge is I have a healthy skepticism around things, and I challenge things to really, kind of dismiss the obvious, or the let's just say an orb. Well, sometimes it's a dust particle, sometimes it's a little bug. So in it, I'm skeptical in that sense. But the difference and the this when people are cynical, that's another level. And so for me, I've never felt like I had to prove anything to anyone in that. So I kind of, I guess my circle and my awareness of people that are open it feels like there's more of it. In Canada, spiritualism, it's talked about, but you go across to the UK, England specifically, and it's like there's countless spiritualist church in each, town.
Every corner.
Yeah. And so in that's not, I think there's two that I know of on the island that I live on, and maybe one or two on the mainland, but it's like, so it's not super common. Yeah.
I was talking to somebody that lives I guess she's in the UK, and she talks about, she just walks down the street to go practice her, mediumship or whatever she wants. And here we have to really make an effort, in North America. So I'm with you too. I hang out with people that I maybe it's I keep my own bubble. I just don't know that people in another realm too much.
Yeah. And people surprise you, in the conversation. Sometimes I'll be like, we kind of put that little feeler out there of like, oh, are they open to these kind of conversations? And I find more and more, the more that I'm in it, the more receptive and open the people that I kind of were on the fence about, that they're open and people are curious, wanting to be in the conversation. So.
Yeah. I see a progression too
Mm-hmm.
in the last year or two. No, 3 years perhaps.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. Anyway, so happy to have you again. I'm just so happy. And if you guys don't know, this is Kevin Lewis. Thank you for coming, you guys.
Thanks everybody for being here.
Mm-hmm. So in your mediumship, and what I noticed, I guess I want you to tell me, what do you think are your, how some things come easy to us, or some things we're drawn to work with more. Do you have any areas in that? You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it is healing, pure healing, or it could be trance healing, or also, because I know you get names and dates easily. So what do you feel like is maybe everything is your strength?
I'm curious about all of it, and just when I kind of get comfortable in one area, I get pulled into other areas. And that's the thing. I tend to deep dive for a while, and then I'm like, it's not that I get bored, but like something will come up and then I'm drawn to something else. And you list it. I think when I get comfortable with something, they switch it up. So that it kind of not, it allows me not to be complacent in it, and not to, be in my process of, being disciplined. And I think that's the one thing. In North America, it's not governed, this work. That's why, I'll speak for myself. That's why I did the Reiki and some of the certifications, because I wanted things to be a certain ethic around it and integrity. And so, not to get off track, but I just think in that I think the relatability for the most part, and how on some level I've emotionally gone through something that could be at least somewhat understood from my perspective, is the people that are, ending up working with me. And I think as far as the mediumship, I feel like I'm pretty balanced in the, like, I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, pretty balanced. Good. Yeah. No, you're very talented. So it's awesome. I love to watch you read, by the way. I just love it, because you have a, it's interesting. I don't know. It's just fun to watch you read. So, Yeah.
Well, I think that's really honest. Like there's like and that's the thing. I'm not meant to read for everybody, as are you. You know what I mean? And that's actually a really great thing that we recognize. We have there are certain people that I'm drawn to, and would be like, okay, I'd love to have a private session with you. And that's a really great thing. And I think in that, I recognize and I put out that intention that the people that end up, booking with me or having a one-on-one, or a healing session, that they're drawn, to me in some capacity. And I think that that's a great thing. So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
mhm.
And so when you do readings, and I see a frequent message, but I would
Mm,
like to know, if you have one theme that you
mm.
feel Spirit wants us to know. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a dog chewing on a bone. That my dog was doing something. I'm so sorry, you guys. I may have to
I
go on.
love it.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. So sorry. Yeah. What your theme would that be? Would you say? I mean, if you, yeah.
What comes to mind is really capturing, the essence of who the loved one is. And so,
Mm,
in that, to me, it brings the opportunity for healing. Because here's the thing about mediumship, um, it's not a given that it's going to take away someone's grief or where they're at. Yes, it can assist in that process, but I feel like in that exchange, um, that's where I feel the gift lies, because I look at the abilities, the awakened abilities that I have. Some people call them gifts. Wonderful. In that, to me, the gift lies when we come together. We're in that exchange, that communication, if there's a layer of healing in it, and we can really capture and feel into the essence of who the loved one is. To me, that's the magic. That's my intention. So I would say that, as far as a theme, that would be it. And yes, readings can look very different.
yeah.
I'm one part of it, spirit is another part of it, and then the sitter, as you know, is another part of it. So in that, they can look different, but I think that aligns with the intention that I have. So,
Nice. Nice. I like that.
mhm.
One of the things I'll just put in my little 2 cents. I hear so much Spirit saying we need to enjoy, to bring in
Mhm.
the joy
Yeah.
in every as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Kim. And especially in this last kind of like holding pattern that we've, found ourselves in the like waiting. And that's the thing where they do. And I actually think that is actually one of the themes that spirit does actually bring me as well, is that we've waited long enough and there's the joy there for us, in any given moment. And yes, that can take something, to do. But yeah, the joy is there for us right now.
Yeah. And to,
Love that.
don't wait for the joy. I mean, I hear this
Yeah.
over and over. Try to find it. Try to
Yeah.
find the joy. Yeah. Don't wait till we pass over. And
Right.
and where do we
Yes.
find it, right? And then to heal as
Yeah.
much as possible, right?
Yeah. Actually, you just reminded me of another one that, it was another theme that I was recognizing in the last couple of months. Spirit kept acknowledging people that were in their life review.
Mhm.
And as we transition, we will all go through a life review to see
Mhm.
where, our choices, our words, what the impact was, the ripple effect. That's our life review, or a part of it. And what I started to notice is that people in the living were doing their life review, and what a gift that is, because we're able to then, um, be in the co-creation of what we're creating, be in that partnership of what we're creating. And in that, oh, I love it. I love it when people are in that, mindfulness.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, I see that, of course, if people are getting ready to transition, but start
Right.
the life review ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a busy
Yeah.
time, that transition time. Okay, so now these are some other kinds of questions, and again, now this may be too big of a question.
I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. So I'm comfortable to say I don't know, or yeah, but I
Okay,
love
well,
it.
so what do you think God looks like?
Oh wow.
Right,
I
Kevin.
heard I heard everything.
Yeah.
My clairaudience is one of my stronger, and so I heard instantly that it's everything. Um, and we were talking about the absolutes just before we came live, and that's the thing. The older I get, the less absolute things can appear. But I do know that it took me a while to become comfortable using the word God. And to me, it's God and source and the universe, the divine self, spirit, like that list goes, it encompasses everything to me. So in that, I think God is everything, it's
Yeah, I agree.
everything and everyone, and all of, what is in between. So yeah, I think we get to feel that feeling. And to me, that's what is our connection. We're all a part of it. We're not separate from any of it. And so in that, I just think, well, I don't actually think about it. I feel more into it than anything, and it feels good. It reminds me, it's that, and I might get this wrong. I might get this wrong, but I think it was the story of Mary Magdalene, the movie. And she was the first account when Jesus resurrected. And I might be getting this wrong, but she had a mediumship session with him, if you will. And in that, he was explaining the kingdom of God, or the king, or the something kingdom. I'm sorry that I'm getting it wrong, but something about the heavenly kingdom, something kingdom. And in it, other people, when she went to go and relay and talk about this communication that she had, they were all like, well, what did it look like, and this and that. And it was more of the focus of the material. And she was like, no, it was about the feeling. It was the kingdom was the feeling. And so, not to get off topic, or I probably did, but to me, it's that feeling. And for all of us, we have that ability to be in it. So,
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because I keep hearing over and over that it's all in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like God is love, right? And love is what brings us together. It's all love.
Yeah.
And what is love? Is love a dog? Is love the earth? Is love in between? I love how you say in between us as well. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. It looks like love. Looks like us.
Yeah.
Looks like you and me and
every one of us. And
in the animals. Yeah. Okay, so that's. I love how you brought up that Mary Magdalene, though. Yeah. Okay, so Kevin, here's another question that it's a big question. Why are we here on Earth?
I love it. To experience, I keep it simple, and maybe that's just for myself. And then, I feel like we're here to experience. We're here to have experiences. I don't see purpose as just singular. It doesn't feel like it's meant to be singular. So in the experiences, we will have emotion. And it's not to say that other dimensions don't. I don't know that fully. I've heard kind of different things about, Earth being the only place where there's emotion. I don't I lean to otherwise. And in that, I just feel like that's the big thing. I mean, this might be the place where more of the emotions, or that spectrum, is different than other dimensions. And so in that, I love, the kingdom of heaven. That's what it was. Thanks, Kelly. That's the thing. We're here to have experiences. And in that, I always remind myself, especially when things are really amazing, and especially when things are really not amazing, that it's temporary, and that I chose to do this. And sometimes it's like on my knees going, why did I choose this? But in it, if we can outframe for a minute, we're pretty fortunate, to be on this earth at this time, experiencing the spectrum of the emotion.
Uh-huh.
So I do look
Yeah.
for those.
Yeah, I love that. I also think that we are here to help Earth
Mm,
ascend, and it's
yeah.
like we're coming together as a group. I mean, humanity and Earth are one. And I say humanity, I really mean
Mm,
animals and plants too.
yeah.
This is just how I see it. And we have our ambassadors of our soul and our group, our guiding forces that guide with us, and we have chosen as our part of our guiding team to be the ones that are so willing and
Hmm.
brave, right? We're so brave.
Yeah. I love that. I love that partnership, in all things, the partnership of, it's not that I forgot about the earth, but yeah, of course it's that. Of course it's all of those layers and all of the, the animal kingdom. And I even heard the rocks and the minerals and the
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Rocks, minerals,
mhm.
water, air.
Yeah.
I know. We're just all one. And I mean, this is how Mother Mary shows it to me
Oh,
as a picture of the earth, but it's like a whole unit all
yeah.
around. And I see it as a blue, like we're all in this blue ball kind of thing. That's in me, how I've
Mm,
seen it, just my vision, and my perception.
I love
But
it.
I love how what you're saying though, that we're here to experience. And yes, how if we think that this is the only planet of emotion, then why? Then I mean,
Right? Hmm.
it's kind of like saying we're the only planet with living life
Right.
or life or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So that reminds me, do you happen to have encounters with aliens and ET or alien
Mm,
beings? Do you see that in
hmm.
your readings, or have you had that in personal experience?
Yeah, both. And it started from when I was a child. My maternal grandmother was fascinated with extraterrestrial, and just things that, I mean, spirit and her own, now in reflection, communication, mediumship, her own psychic abilities. Um, People called it different things, which um, yeah, we've upgraded the vocabulary around it. Oh,
I'm sorry, I missed one.
that's
Oh,
okay.
my.
Um,
Oh my goodness.
but so that, that kind of curiosity was there as a young child. And so just seeing my own, having some of my own experiences, and then just again, that knowing. And that didn't always come from the experiences, but there was still that knowing of things that maybe you didn't, experience it or see it, but that it was still it was still real. Um, and then, yeah, in readings, some interesting, I mean, part of my intention is that I only work with 100% of love and light. And
Yeah.
in that, I do welcome, other dimensional. And so, yeah, there's been some curious energies that have provided, just like the animals will, our star beings will offer, some, I say creative, but just different type of energy and medicine. So, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
open to it all.
Yeah, yeah.
My grandma, in fact, used to say, "Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if a UFO landed in the backyard?" And I would be like, "Yes,
Uh-huh.
sign me up,
Right.
all aboard,
Yeah.
as long as they bring me back."
Well, they can just have a landing, they can just have a landing pad in your backyard. They don't have to take you
Totally,
anywhere.
totally, yeah.
Just
Tour
invite you in the
the
starship and
craft,
back and forth.
totally, yeah.
Just have sleepovers. Awesome. Yeah, and a lot of people are agreeing with us here, by the way. Uh,
So good. Thanks
yeah,
everybody for being here.
yeah, I know. Thank you all, and happy holidays again. Woohoo!
Hmm.
Okay, so let me see here. Um, do you believe in Santa Claus?
I do. Yeah, I sure do. The magic of Christmas and Santa, it's about believing. And it's like, to
Mm,
me, it doesn't have to be, um, to me, it's about the energy of it. And in that, it just feels like opportunity to be, back into that connection with people. And it's interesting how sometimes we will put aside certain things to come together. And sometimes that can be through things like the holidays, and that it's not one size fits all in that. But I do, and I always have. And I felt like, a part of something bigger, and at the same time was able to recognize, like, I'm thinking of past Christmases, I was able to see myself like as that young child with that curiosity and that anticipation for something, to come. And I think that underneath it, it one of the things, and this is for me, is that um, it allows us to be with a sense of hope. And that truly is such a gift. And so connecting that to something like Santa, for me, is very real. So yeah, I believe in Santa. Do you?
Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
the last one in third grade to not believe. But
Oh, yeah.
but the thing, I think there really was a Saint Nick, I
Mm.
believe, right? And there is a real man who kind of did that. I don't know. I think so. But
Yeah.
and so the idea about hope. So you asked us, so what gives you hope? I mean, what do
Oh
you
boy.
see that would give you signs of hope for
Yeah.
us?
I mean, I start with myself in that, and just, sometimes it takes a lot to be with that sense of hope. And so sometimes it takes a lot of conviction and conversation and support. But I think one option is that we always have that ability to be with a sense of hope. And then if you layer it with being in community and friends and family and around other people to lift us up when things are really difficult, I think that that's one of the things that keeps me coming back and has kept me a part of this community, is that so many people are giving other people, some strangers, a lot of strangers, people don't, so many of them have not met in person, and yet are willing to provide hope and comfort. And in that, I just think that yeah, I think we can find hope in it, in many things, in most things.
Yeah. And thank you for
Mm,
saying it, because I think the community is so important for feeling hope. I mean, if we don't have anything else, right?
yeah.
And it's so we are, I feel, in this community, and these people here and chat watching, and this. I know this YouTube community is a tiny speck on the earth, but still, I feel
Mhm.
like it provides each of us hope
Yeah.
in whatever small, minuscule a way. And then if we feel it, then we can share it.
Yeah.
And if
And
we share it with one person, that person's going to share it with two more, and they're going to share
mhm.
it with four more, and
Yeah. The ripple effect of that. Mhm.
yeah, I love it. So anyway, thank you again. I mean, I just loved you guys. Thank you, thank you. Okay, gosh, I can't believe we are going through these. I thought we'd never get all through
That's
these.
so interesting. Linda says a good yes, there was a Saint Nicholas. He was a bishop of the city of Myra in present-day Turkey.
Okay, I knew there was a
Interesting.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Just like there's that all king. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My kids went to a Waldorf school, and so they celebrated all the holidays throughout the world, and so we learned about
Oh,
different German, Sweden. I don't know. We learned about lots of different holidays. So that was,
wow.
anyway. Okay, actually, let me see here. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is. Oh, okay. Well, here's a question, and I think we kind of touched on it.
Mm.
Do you believe, I'm sure, I mean, I'm going to assume you believe we are multidimensional beings. I mean,
Mhm.
our souls.
Yeah.
And if you could look at our soul, what might it look like? And then can we as a multidimensional being, are we already, how we're talking about ascension? What do you
Hmm.
think about that?
I mean, yes, I do, but I mean, I feel like it's beyond a belief that it's that place of knowing that we are multidimensional and our capacity to be in that knowing in this humanness. I don't want to say it. Well, I feel like it sometimes is limiting in the capacity of my brain and but I just feel like my understanding of it is so minimal and that's okay. I feel like I've come to surrender to things that I can't fully understand. I was saying that actually with you backstage about asking why. Maybe I just said it a few minutes ago. I don't remember. Probably both. But the why, I used to find frustration when I couldn't get the why behind things. And I've lessened that frustration and went more into a place of surrender for things that are just, these concepts that are so layered. And just when I think I've got, more understanding, I have more questions. And then I'm in more conversations. And as I'm like answering the question a week later, I feel like I'm changing it. So in it, I feel like that's a part of the demonstration of our ability to be in our multidimensional and in that ascension. I think we're all ascending, and I
Agreed.
don't look to measure it. I just think like, to me, it's like, it's not a competition. I do know that we're all in that ascension. It's
Mhm.
inevitable,
Mhm.
it's
But
inevitable.
yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if our soul is already ascended and a part of us is here on earth, we're helping earth
Yeah.
become, ascend as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also I wonder, as we're talking about this, it just makes me wonder that as a community on earth, maybe even this YouTube community, we've got to have known each other before. I mean,
Mm,
how this goes
yeah.
over and over. And so
Yeah.
many of us, like I know I have sisters and brothers here, and I
Yeah.
feel like, we've just known it. We just are in the, we know each other.
Yeah.
And so nice family, right? Hello, family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so happy to be here with the family. Um, okay. So let's see here. Now, you have, since you've been on YouTube. Okay. But I don't want to ask that yet. This is, okay, sorry. I have that question
You
too.
know what? You triggered something, a thought
Yeah.
in me about the soul aspect of who we are.
Yeah.
And in that, it's like I was just feeling into it and I was like, oh yeah, like our soul, I feel, is doing work that we sometimes are not even aware of.
Yeah.
For example, like you were talking about being in connection with other people, other souls, and with like the earth, with things, so I feel like that too is another layer of the multi-dimensionalness, if that's a word. I don't know, I'm making it up today.
I think you're right.
But in that feels really exciting. I got
Yeah,
a strong yes in that.
I
Hmm.
know. I see this all the
Hmm.
time, Kevin.
Yeah.
When, and it happened to me last summer when I realized that my soul had an agenda
Mhm.
that I wasn't like really. I mean, I thought I was told, but I mean, I know this is kind of crazy, but last summer when I was in Mount Shasta, I kind of got this,
Oh,
you know, the angels came, basically a
yeah.
vision, and they kind of told me part of my soul purpose, and I was like, no, where's the manager? I want to talk to the manager. This is not what I thought. And they said, you're the manager, you're the manager. But the idea is that we are soul, everybody here, it's not just me, everybody.
Yeah.
Our soul's doing other work besides
Yeah.
just being here as a human. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic work. It could be
Yeah.
global, it could be universal, it could be beyond
Mhm.
our wildest imagination. And so we don't even know how powerful and how magnificent we are.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
that connection. It's so wonderful. So yes, in that great amnesia that we've all um,
Yeah.
had, it's like we still have those moments of that recognition, and it's that feeling, it's that knowing, where it's like it's hard for me to put in the into the language, but it's just that deep knowing,
Right.
and that, that's exciting. That to me is another example of how we can plug into that sense of hope.
Yeah, right. It's, I know we just have to trust. If we don't know what our soul
Yes.
purpose is, my soul purpose was, because Marvita's asking, it was about helping people transition. And then it's like, okay, no, I thought it would be something more. I thought, oh, something more grand or something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, it's on a soul level as well. So that, anyway, we do things. We may think we're only here in this capacity, but
Yeah.
we're much greater, all of us. And do you believe that? I mean, we all have the capacity to develop our intuition, of course,
Oh,
to
for
develop our
sure.
mediumship. I mean, we all have it. It's
Hmm.
just that opening that door somehow, whatever triggers it, to
Yeah.
open, and then it can be really opened if one
Yeah.
chooses.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I have another question. Are you ready, Kevin? Am I going too
Do it.
fast?
It's
Okay, maybe just
perfect.
2 or 3 more. Okay.
It's all
So
good. Yeah.
tell me about the role. How do the guides? How do
Mm.
you work with your guides, or in the angel? And do you have angels, guides, or ETs? Or, I mean, or does it even matter to you? Oh, who is your guiding team?
Yeah. It matters to me, and I've spent some time in the discovery, and a deeper familiarity, if you will. When I'm actually in, let's just say, for example, when I'm in a mediumship reading, I don't spend a lot of time in the awareness of specifically the detail. And so what I mean by that is I'm not aware of like, oh, I'm using my clairaudience and I am connected with my master guide Callie, and she looks like this, and she's telling, like, I kind of, I can be in that reflection and the recognition of that after, but when I'm actually in it, again, I'm simple-minded. So that's too many parts for me to be like, I can look back and go, and sometimes that comes from questions. I mean, people have said, oh, I think it was Sun Psychic Jean pointed it out one time. She's like, I'm curious, are you immediately making connection with the loved one, or are your guides? And then I was like, that's a really great question. And I didn't have an answer. And so I kind of, for the next, I don't know, maybe about the next month, and then we had done another show and it came back up and I said, oh, I want to thank you, because I started to just bring my attention to it. And then in that, I discovered that it was all of it. I was
Yeah.
making connections sometimes with my guides. Sometimes I was making connection with angelic. Sometimes it was with other star beings, other deities or ascended masters, or on and on, the animal kingdom, loved ones. It was like, it was everything. And so sometimes it's like, I find for me, sometimes I'm less in the detail of it in the moment, but then in the reflection, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. I forget what your question was.
Yeah. No, I was wondering how you work with your team,
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, I mean, I remember when I was, first on this journey, and I thought, oh, well, everybody wants to know their guide. Oh yeah, you got blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah, right? But nowadays, it doesn't matter to me.
Mm,
I mean, I
yeah.
know that I know, but I don't have to know a name. I mean, just like you, I think it's like, yeah, it all comes together, and we don't have to separate.
Yeah.
This is one. I think we're one unit, kind of, right?
Yeah.
If we are working as a team and we're part of the team.
Yeah. I would say there's less times when I'm acutely aware of singular, and the most of the time, the majority of the time, it's just, I'm going to say source. And
Yeah,
in that, it's just the collective, not
yeah,
just, it's the collective, it's all of it. And so in that, I just feel it's better for me to just be in that than trying to stop and analyze and judge and question. And yeah, that throws me off more.
Yeah, good.
Mhm.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you for answering that so nicely. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, let's see here. Oh, and maybe we already talked about this, but you know, do you believe that everybody has a ability to become a medium or a psychic, perhaps, or maybe their role would be maybe a orb seer, or maybe the
Yeah.
role is something else in that realm, right?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, we're all energy broken down. And so our awareness of energy is, I don't know what the word is imminent. So in that, it's just, yes, we all have the abilities. And in it, I think they can just look different. Sometimes you just have a natural born, like, yeah, your dog's agreeing, a natural born genius. And then sometimes you just have to try so hard, to study and learn and grow.
Yeah.
So it varies, but I do know that we do all have these abilities, and how
Mm.
they look for one person. What I love about it is that um, I got a little lost in my journey trying to duplicate and do it the way that other people had done it. And then when you attach teaching to that, it's like, people teach what they know. And in it, sometimes that can be really great. And sometimes that can be really limiting. So what I love about it now is that it can just look very different. And although I don't understand, or maybe that's not how it is for me, I remind myself to be open. And that's the thing. I don't even really have to remind myself anymore. So when people preempt it with like, oh, this sounds crazy, or it's like, no, that actually excites me, because I think yet it's another layer in our expansion. And so, yes, we all have these abilities. Absolutely. And I feel like there's been a lot of energy with young people and their awakened abilities and knowings at a young age, and then for a lot of senior. And so in that, there's a real movement. I was doing a show with Hogarth, and he was connecting it to the Vedic astrology, and it supports this movement and awakening, or further awakening, in the senior demographic, which is super exciting, because we need that. To me, that's the duality, the balance. And so that rise of that knowing and these gifts, and people going, oh my gosh, I'm curious about exploring my mediumship or my psychic abilities. It just, I mean, it gets me really excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you totally. Um, and do you feel that so over the last several years, perhaps have you seen an uptick in people like their abilities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I mean, just like our ability to heal,
Yeah.
our ability to awaken, and I think we're all awake. That's the thing. We're all awake, and we're just, it's just another layer that's being unveiled, that is there by nature. So it's less
Mhm.
to me of like, oh, I have to learn this. To me, it's that discovery of what is there by nature. And in that, literally, as time is speeding up, if time were a thing, that goes with our ability in our consciousness. So it's like, it's just rapid. And so in it, where it's like development could take people, 20, 30 years
Yeah.
on an emotional, to have that capacity for that layer of understanding. Now it's happening at like warp speed. And to me, I'm excited about that. Because I feel the more light workers, the more people that are within their ability, the better it is for all of us, the universe, beyond. And so, yeah, that acceleration,
Hmm.
it's
I know.
it's amazing.
It is
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
And that's right. A bit alarmed. I don't know about alarmed, but I would say, yeah, I definitely see this huge. I mean, even people being more open to this kind of
Yes.
thing. just in the last
Hmm.
2 years or maybe 3 years is what I've seen
Yeah.
particularly. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. So, Kevin, I just love this conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Good
Um,
questions.
Tell me, what do you have? I mean, I know you've got so much going on in your life. What are you going to do for Christmas? And what do you got going on your YouTube channel? And
Christmas is going to be, I have a blended family now. And so Christmas Day will be with my mom and then my siblings, my partner, and then my nephews. I've got 4 nephews. So that will
oh,
be on Christmas Day. And then on Boxing Day, I live on an island, literally on an island. So we're heading, weather permitted, up island to my dad. And so some of my extended family on his side. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm literally off until I think January 16th. So I'm on holidays and
oh
that feels
my
really good.
gosh, that's
I
awesome.
know.
Well, congratulations on you for that.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, you're just on so many, I see you on people's channels. And like today, later
It's good.
on, we're going to do readings, right, with Susan Lynn.
Yes. Yes. I love reading with her. And that's the thing. I say that I'm off and I'm on holidays. And that just goes to show like I feel such a pull and a like, this doesn't feel like work to me. And not to downplay it. Yes, it takes energy and it takes something to show up for me. And in that, it's not that I don't know, I don't downplay what it actually entails, but it feels so good that I don't really look at it like work. So I'll be doing lots of stuff through the holidays.
Okay.
Yeah, my channel. I've been working on a couple things that I will launch in the new year. Some different series and just like different. I love the conversation. I love learning, and I love learning through other people and what they have to share. And I appreciate you giving me this space because I think sometimes you're a really good listener, and I'm not to, and I love that. And when we give people the space to actually listen and be with, sometimes just the discovery of, answering questions that maybe they've never thought about or maybe they've never said it out loud. So I want to do more of that as well in the new year. And then
Mm-hmm.
I love everybody. I love working with all the people that everybody's just so different. In the way that they read, and of course the people that read the tarot, and just the different styles of mediumship and psychic. I love everybody's approach to it, and so in
Right.
that it's exciting to come together. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that reminds me that we are all so different and unique. And I
Hmm.
thought somebody saying that in here, and we shouldn't compare ourselves, right? And like,
Yeah.
I'm going to say, well, how come I'm not getting dates like you,
Yeah.
Kevin? I mean, sometimes I get dates, but it's not like my everyday thing. And
Yeah.
like, well, I shouldn't compare, I have, we all of us have our own beautiful way of receiving and giving to the world.
Yeah. I
And
love it.
there is nothing more better or worse or more
Yeah.
valuable or less valuable. And so I want everybody to feel that
Hmm.
valuable love that they have inside, that this is the source, the God, the 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 unity of all there is already within us. And we're
Yeah.
already ascended, and we're already beautiful and big and powerful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that reminder. It takes me back to I would say, a good 5 years ago, just not being in the full confidence of doing this work. And I spent some time in that comparison, and then in the self-judgment of why, things didn't look like this or that. And it actually, in reflection, it wasn't that far after that I noticed that really took me out of it. And it was great that I discovered, and that's just the way that it unfolded. But I realized that the more time I tried to make it look a certain way, and it was like that switch in perspective of what can spirit do for me is the approach that I was doing. And now it's more of what can I do for spirit?
Yeah.
And so just being in that very different perspective shifted everything for me as far as the work. So yeah.
Oh, so beautiful,
Hmm.
Kim. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
I'm giving you Christmas hugs. If I had a stocking here, I'd have you over and have a
Totally.
chocolate in it for you.
I love it.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for being here, everybody, for being here and sharing this time with us, a sacred time that we shared together. Remember, this is a moment in time that will never go away.
Right.
And this, don't you appreciate all the wisdom that Kevin shared? And I hope I didn't interrupt you too much, Kevin.
My
So,
goodness, not at all.
Anyway, thank you so much. And I really do appreciate this to you, to the universe, and everybody here. So
I love it. Kim will do this again for sure.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.